Hi, welcome back to Let's Get Your Shift Together. This is episode number 3. Yay! So in this episode, I'm going to talk about the writing exercises on how to kind of, I guess, write. Okay, we all know how to write. That made no sense. How the writing exercises will help you to feel less pain. So if you watched my last video, it was about how to think about your pain and how to communicate with your brain on making the pain stop. I hope that worked for anybody who may have been suffering from a headache at the time or any type of pain, migraine, sciatica pain, shoulder pain, anything. If that worked, that's awesome, and let me know, because that's great. That's gonna encourage me to continue doing this work and continue trying to help people. So yeah, basically, bottom line, if you're a living, breathing human, you have TMS. We all do. Some of us have it worse than others. So there's some people out there who they don't suffer from chronic pain and must be freaking nice, right? My husband, for example, he has never suffered from chronic pain. I have never understood that, and he has never understood me, but we work with each other, obviously, and we try to understand each other, so that's what marriage is. But I was just trying to understand how anybody could just not have chronic pain, and I don't get it. But that's my experience, because I've never not had I don't understand how anyone could not have TMS. And we all do to an extent, and I guess because mine was so bad, and obviously we all have TMS, but I guess because my pain was so bad before I got to the point where I was okay, let's just try something crazy and do this weird Curable app and see what happens. I never really saw it as a thing that you could do to help yourself. So if you're a living, breathing human, you have TMS, you want to do something about your TMS, you have it within you to help yourself. Trust me. And help me help you by doing the actual work. So if you tried speaking with your brain and you found a little bit of relief even, or you found complete relief and then your headache's back, just do that again. But then you should also do the writing stuff. So pretty much Dr. Sarno's first step is to make 3 lists. So the first list, and you don't really need to, you can refer back to these lists in future writing exercises, but the main point of doing this initially is to just make the 3 lists. And if that's too much for you, then that's okay. And you don't have to force yourself to do another writing exercise right after you do that. Just take it at your own pace. Don't wait too long to do it, and actually do it, and don't do it too quickly, because that's what I did. And then I just had this massive bout of anxiety and depression, and that was a nightmare. And I even got to the point where I was okay, it might be better to just feel pain, but I know I pushed myself too hard. So fair warning for that. Don't dive into it head first and do all the things right away, because that is going to re-traumatize you. And if you think you need a therapist while you do this work, I would encourage you to do that. You could also go with a life coach like myself, who specializes in chronic pain coaching, just to kind of help you along the way. But definitely, if you don't feel I'm not going to say if you don't feel like you can do it on your own, because you don't know until you try it. So I would definitely encourage you to just do the lists first and maybe do 1 or 2 writing exercises, see how that goes. And then if you feel like you need a therapist or life coach to help you along the way, definitely do that. Or if you think you can just keep going at it without the extra help, then good for you. There's no wrong way to do this, but you want to do this in a safe way that if you do end up re-traumatizing yourself, you can have hope that you're going to be okay, because your nervous system's going to send you all these messages that we're going to die because we thought about the thing that we didn't want to think about, and this is bad, and oh my god, we're going to die. That's what your nervous system, that's what your brain is basically telling your nervous system, and you're going to have all these pain flare-ups, and you're going to have relapses. I've had so many relapses since I started this work, but I've been able to get myself out of it. So once I got to that point, that was when I was wow, holy shit, this is amazing. I should have done this years ago, but I wasn't desperate enough years ago. It wasn't until I got the mouth shingles while I was getting my jaw like realigned, that I was like, okay, like I need to do something, and I don't care if it's something totally crazy, I need to do something. And then here I am, out of chronic pain, helping other people with their chronic pain. So if that doesn't tell you something about this whole thing, then I don't know what will. Yeah, so I mean, I don't know if I need to continue convincing you that like this is what you have to do, but you should just do it. Yeah, so anyways, the writing exercise. You're gonna do 3 lists. The first list is going to be traumatic childhood experiences, any negative childhood experiences. And it doesn't have to be something really crazy. Like, I know that like a lot of us judge ourselves when we have something that we think is traumatic, but then it's like you watch the news and like you think of just all this horrible stuff, like, oh, well, I'm not one of the kids in Africa starving, so I mean, my childhood couldn't be that bad. It doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter. All that matters is your brain had to perceive that experience as negative and bad and like traumatizing, and that had to get repressed. And it doesn't matter what it was. It doesn't matter how mild it was. It doesn't matter how serious it was. If it was like really serious, I would really seriously want to tell you to just like see a therapist also. But like a lot of the personality characteristics of those of us who have TMS is we're perfectionists, we're goodists, we're like kind of martyry. You know, like it's the type of person that any workplace would be like super happy to hire because, you know, you're a bit of a workaholic and you're gonna make sure everything's done perfectly. But is that the right personality to go through life with? Not so much, unless you want to have chronic pain or conditions for the rest of your life and end up suffering needlessly. So, list number 1, your traumatic childhood experiences, your sad childhood experiences, whatever. It could be something as minor as like you remember the time that you lost your mom in the store, but then you found her 5 minutes later, but those 5 minutes you were freaking out. And, you know, any 5-year-old would freak out when that happens, and maybe that got repressed because, you know, like you started crying at first, and your mom was like, don't worry, like I'm here, like don't worry, everything's fine, you don't need to cry, and then you just learned how to repress it, and your mom was well-meaning. I'm not attacking any parents here, like I'm really not. And I mean, if you did have parents who should have never been parents, then that's also another reason that you have TMS, like, you know? It is what it is, and you just need to recognize that that was not your fault. So what kids do is they make things their fault. So like when I was a kid, I really believed that I caused my parents to get divorced, and you know, it wasn't until like literally a couple months ago that I realized, wait, no, it wasn't my fault that they got divorced. They were just not compatible, and they like really just should have never gotten married to begin with. But then I guess I wouldn't be here, and here I am, and now that I'm helping people, I feel like I actually have like a purpose. Yay. So, yeah, like this is not an attack on parents. This is not an attack on your parents. This is not to say that like parents are doing it wrong by like, you know, telling their kid to not have like a shit fit in the store. Like, I mean, these are completely well-meaning things that parents do to teach their kids the right thing. So please don't think that that's what I'm getting at here. And I mean, I do acknowledge there are also parents that should have just never been parents, and they actually do blame the kid for stuff, and that's horrible. And, you know, just because you went through that, that doesn't have to be your reality for like the rest of your life, which I ended up learning the hard way, for lack of a better word. So, your childhood experiences, that's list number 1. List number 2 is going to be your current stressors. So, and you can just, with the other list and this list, like write anything that comes to mind. Even if you don't think it's contributing to your TMS, if it comes to mind, just write it. And it doesn't matter. Like, it really doesn't matter. Like, it could be something so insignificant, like, oh, when I was like 3 years old, I wanted McDonald's, but my mom made me like, I don't know, vegetables that day, and that made me sad. Write that, as dumb as it sounds, like, because I know you're judging your thoughts because that's what we do. So just like, and this, put it in a notebook. This notebook is just for your eyes only. Hang on to the lists because you might need them for future reference, or I'll get to this. So your second list, current stressors, so it could be anything. Like it could be like a change in like life status, like if you've recently gotten married or you're expecting a child, like you recently had a kid, change in parenting status, change in relationship status, change in work status, current work status. You hate your job, write that down. You are mad at your brother or sister, write that down. Your friend pissed you off, you write that down. And that's just part of your list. And it just has to be bullet points. It doesn't have to, you don't have to go into anything, just make the list. Your third list is going to be your personality traits. So any of the TMS personality traits, and this is like, we all have these traits at some point or another, but like some of us were just like ingrained to be a certain way because of our patterns growing up, and you know, we don't know how to get out of that pattern. I'm gonna show you how. Eventually. It's not gonna, I can't explain it in 5 minutes, but this is the start. This is how you start. So you're gonna write your list of your personality traits. So you are a perfectionist, like, you know, are you the type of person who, if you know you're gonna have friends over, you do like a complete deep cleaning of your living quarters just to not get judged? And like, don't bullshit yourself. Like, if you really do have this fear about being judged, write that down. Like, it's not a big deal. It's really not a big deal. Like, it is what it is. It's part of being human. It's like the human condition, and it's nothing to be ashamed of. And you probably are ashamed of it, and you're gonna learn how to not be ashamed of it because like, it's just normal. Like, it just is what it is. So yeah, perfectionist, workaholicness, goodist, like goodism. So if you're the type of person who thinks like you need people to see you as a good person no matter what, you need people to like you no matter what, you can't really like wrap your head around why someone would not like you, and then you get really offended when someone doesn't like you. And you know, like, it's all stuff that like we don't want to admit it to ourselves, but like, just if this is true for you, admit it to yourself. One of the big things with all these exercises is just be honest with yourself. If you're not going to be honest with yourself, this is not going to work for you. So you need to be at a point where you are ready to be brutally honest about anything and everything that comes up, and just be honest. It's not a big deal. And I know like a lot of people like to run away from the truth, and because it's easier to just like not believe it. And I mean, just be honest. Like, just trust me and be honest, okay? So yeah, be honest about your personality, be honest about your current stressors, be honest about your childhood experiences. Even if, in your opinion, as the thing comes to your head, you don't think it relates to TMS, it might. Write it down anyways. Again, doesn't matter. So once you have these 3 lists, if you want to keep going with them, just take like 2 or 3, I think it's like 3 from each section, and keep those like front and center. So you can write those ones down on like a different piece of paper, and you can go back to those. Or you can keep that original 3 lists and go back to topics on that if you want to. I think it's more constructive to just go with like the 3 main ones from each list, just because after a certain point of doing this work, you're gonna, like, it's gonna be overkill to go over the same thing over and over and over again. There's gonna be times where you're gonna go over the same thing over and over again because you haven't quite resolved those feelings, and that is okay too. But what I'm trying to tell you is you don't necessarily have to go through each and every single thing. If you wrote about something already and you handled that, and then there's like another thing that could kind of relate to that, but that thing doesn't really bother you anymore, and you're good with that, you don't really have to write about it. I hope that made sense. And yeah, so basically do that, see how it goes, and then after that, if you're comfortable doing more writing exercises, I would maybe like chill out for a bit if you're feeling overwhelmed. If you're not feeling overwhelmed, go for it, do it every day. What I would recommend doing every day is the writing for 20 minutes every day. 20 to 30 minutes. Just get a notebook, piece of paper, or a notebook is a piece of paper. What am I saying? Get a notebook or a piece of paper and a pen, or get your laptop and your keyboard, whatever, type it in your phone, use dictation software if you have carpal tunnel, and you know, eventually you're gonna be able to start writing again if you do have carpal tunnel. I have been able to draw again. I had 1 surgery on this hand, again, there's my little scar. I don't know if you can see it. There it is. That. I had one surgery. I knew that I needed to get another surgery on this hand because it was like super numb and tingly, and I was starting to lose my grip in this hand too. Like this hand was so bad that if I was holding something, I would drop it and not know it. Like I couldn't even hold a piece of paper with this hand. That's how useless it was. Now that I know it was TMS, I'm like, I shouldn't have gotten the surgery, but this was a year, almost a year and a half before I even discovered the Mindbody syndrome, Tension Myositis Syndrome. But I've spared myself from getting another surgery. I can draw now. Like I randomly started drawing one day just because I felt like it. And I actually, like my hand didn't hurt. It didn't start giving out. So, I mean, if you're at the point, and I was using dictation software at work. Trust me, it was the worst. That stuff, it's garbage. Like I remember one time I was writing an email and, you know, I was like ending it off with like, thanks, Adriana. And my dictation software understood thanks, the Korea, like the country. And I was like, what? Like, seriously? So it was kind of funny. I mean, it's like, it's kind of comedic to use writing dictation software, but it's annoying and it sucks and it's not necessarily the best way to do things. And if you do have carpal tunnel, there's hope for you. So yeah, do the writing 20 minutes a day if you're up to it. Even if you're not up to it, do it. If you're like not, you know, in a situation where it's going to completely re-traumatize you and like set you off the deep end, like definitely go talk to your therapist. Do it for a week, see how you feel. And after that, keep doing it every day. And then keep doing it every day. And then after about a month, log how you feel. And if you need more like resources and like coaching with it or like a therapy or whatever, that's optional. That's all optional. We all heal at different paces. And I mean, I wish I had some kind of like pain coach when I was going through this, because I totally re-traumatized myself. Managed to figure it out, but I mean, if I had some kind of coaching, probably would have been better. But again, my reality is what it is, and I did manage to make it through, and now here I am helping people. So I hope this was helpful, and if you have any questions or anything else that you want me to cover, feel free to send me a message. Again, my website's let's get your shift together, all one word.com. My email address is letsgetyourshifttogether@gmail.com, and obviously my YouTube channel is the same name, and my Instagram too. Feel free to contact me through any of those mediums, and yeah, hopefully we can do some healing. So happy healing. Let's get our shift together.